Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to another exciting video. Today is the celebration of the release of my debut novel. So this isn't technically the official date that the book went out. The book did go out Monday, August the 17th. And this video is probably going to go out like Wednesday or something like that. The reason why I can't, I wasn't able to determine the exact day it's going out is because I published through KDP, which is Amazon. And whenever you go to publish a book on Amazon, you first upload the PDF, or you upload your novel, you upload your cover, and then you can verify it to make sure everything looks good. And if you want, you can order a proof before you actually release it, which is what I did. So after I got my proof in and I read it, I fixed some of it and then re-uploaded my novel. And then when you finally are ready to publish it, it says that it has to that Amazon has to verify it first, check on some things. It can take up to 72 hours and then it automatically releases. I don't know if I might have missed something or not, because that seems really weird. It's like you would think you could maybe go through the verification process first and then it would tell you, hey, just hit publish and you're ready to go. But it didn't really do that. It was just like, hey, we're verifying it for you, and then whenever we're done, it's going to be published. So I couldn't really do oh yeah, my book is definitely coming out on this specific date. So that's just a little bit about KDP and publishing on Amazon in case any of you guys are interested. But regardless, it is out and I'm very excited. So if you're interested in picking up a copy, you can head over to Amazon. You can get it as a paperback or a Kindle ebook. I would definitely suggest the paperback. It's pretty much the exact way I want people to consume the novel. And really, I'm not going to go too much more into it. This is going to be a short video, but I did want to go a little bit into the book in case this is the first time you guys are watching one of my author videos. So the quick synopsis, the one you can pretty much find in the back of the book or on the website, describes the book as the following. After the atomic bomb of 1945, after World War II ended, some humans began to develop the ability to control fire, water, earth, and air. Our book picks up 75 years later as we follow three of those elemental wielders as they try to complete high school, and some teen angst and things start to ensue. An event in the novel shows the return of one of the characters' family members who they thought was lost to them. In order to save them, the trio diverts their attention to helping this family member, all the while dealing with their own past traumas. So that's kind of the brief overview of what's going to be going on and what you can kind of expect. I did want to dive a little bit deeper and just to kind of describe what I would probably praise about the book, or what I think you would want to focus on if you're interested in this novel. So first off, the elemental system, the magic system. An assumption with powers can be that the story, if you're trying to read a contemporary novel, then the story may seem too fantastical with a power or a magic system. Or if it's the opposite and it's a contemporary novel but there's a fantastical element, it may just be used as a gimmick. My story, I think, does blend a really good balance of being a contemporary setting with the fantastical element. For example, the issues that we run into are real, and the things that these characters go through, any one of our readers could have possibly faced these themselves in their own lives. But there is also a spirituality to the powers. The name given to them, Weavers, as the book is called, is because the humans are combining their own energy. Think of chi or ki. Those are some pretty popular forms of this terminology I'm using. They combine that into the elemental energy. That combination of blending their energy into the elements gives them their name, Weavers. This opens up the story and the power system to be more than simply just using elements like a mage would in a true fantasy novel. Think of a weapon or a power device. It goes beyond that. That being said, though, the characters are diverse in how they each handle their elemental power. So some see it just as a weapon, and then some see it as something more. This in itself is its own plot as well. So now we're going to move on to the characters. My story is a character-driven novel, so this is obviously a very huge part of it. And honestly, each character has their own backstory and trauma to deal with. Mostly speaking of the main trio, Matt, Amber, and Vin, some of those traumas can be very real. We do deal with family issues, death of loved ones, mental health, Alzheimer's, and a lot more. But that being said, not everything is so angsty and serious. Two of the three main characters, Matt and Vin, have known each other for a really long time.
So they have a lot of banter back and forth, like inside jokes. They're really comfortable with each other, and they're comfortable with getting on each other's nerves. The intro of Amber, the third main protagonist, shows her and Matt butting heads, and we get to see her try to like learn and grow within this new dynamic, which can switch stuff up and keep the characters interesting. I personally like this because then you're not just dealing with two people that know each other forever, but this is the first time you're seeing them, 17 years into their life. You almost can kind of see yourself in Amber's point of view, who is new to this dynamic. Even though there is three main characters, technically the main character is Vin. He's the one that you follow most of the time, and you would probably say he's the main protagonist of the story. Something that may interest you guys is that even though Vin is the main character, the story does not revolve around him. This might interest a reader if you're kind of tired of like everything being based around him. Really broad example, think of Harry Potter, how almost everything is about Harry, and Hermione and Ron are supporting Harry. And I'm sure a lot of people love that story, obviously, and we love those three characters. But some of the cliches you may be getting tired of is that dynamic and like of the main character almost seeming selfish and everything revolving around him. My story doesn't really take that. Vin is actually really helping other people with their issues. So that may be an interesting dynamic that you might want to pick up and learn about. So lastly, not only do you learn about the complexities and the motivations for the main characters, but you also get this out of the antagonist. The antagonists of my story are also complicated and have their own motivations, and at some point you'll actually see their point of view. So something that actually is interesting to people is getting to know, that the antagonist isn't so like obvious or mustache twirling or anything like that, and hopefully you will actually get that out of my novel. You won't be seeing their point of view a lot. And personally, I think that the way that it's spaced out throughout the novel is more interesting. It's not just like randomly like, oh, now you know what the antagonists are thinking, and then we go back to like the protagonist. The antagonist perspective is more to build on to how they got to where they are in the current timeline of the novel. So now that we're done talking about the characters, the last thing we really need to talk about is the story. What you've probably kind of gathered is that the book really starts at like the halfway point, that event that I was telling you about. So the way that the story is paced is that the earlier part of the novel builds up all these characters, the main trio, and how the weaving works. And then right when you may think you're kind of ready for the story to start, that may be like, when does the action begin? It should be paced pretty well to where that midpoint happens. And it's pretty fast paced from there on out. A lot of the readers have given me feedback saying that the entire book is pretty engaging, but that the ending is pretty fast paced, so you normally fly through it pretty well. It's also been praised though that there are still some pretty decent breaks in the action, that last half of the book. There are moments where our characters kind of stand back and reflect on like what's important and why they're doing what they want to do. So that's pretty much all I've really got. That's probably my best unbiased description about what you can kind of expect from the book, and at least what I particularly liked about the book. I do really want to thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about my novel or even my writing process, how I got there, definitely leave those down in the comment section below. I'd love to have a discussion about this. As usual, all the links are in my description for my Instagram if you want to follow it while I post like pictures and different little updates about the book. I also have my website where like I said, you can read the first 4 chapters of my novel. And then of course I'll have the Amazon link where you can go on and purchase the physical or digital edition. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.